and Mr. Misha gives me something else to think about. Because I was looking at the ordinary everyday life, good for dramas, but not for epic fantasy or science fiction. Which I discovered this link through looking through to find more superversive stuff. But you know what? Mr. Misha brings up a good point. Contrary wise, this is why space epics and fantasy epics usually put me to sleep. Not that I necessarily want a story about ordinary life, but I do want a story about people who live ordinary lives, lives that are disrupted by chaos and to which the characters long to return to. Which I guess is kind of fits Frodo in a way. You know, that's an everyman type of character that gets thrust into an unusual situation and then goes through a bit of the hero's journey and then comes back to normalcy at the end. My counter with that, with mundane manifesto fiction, is it's just like what's happening in some comic books by certain dead enterprises. They sit around a table, talk, 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 feelings, talk, 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 boredom, talk, 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 talk. Oh, we'll have a one like little slap fight in there with some superheroes at the end, then boom, more talk, 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 talk. That's the big thing I get out of mundane manifesto fiction is they just sit there and do nothing but navel gaze. But I also get what Mr. Misha is saying though too. Yeah, there is a precedent for having just a normal average everyday Joe uh, finding an adventure, something that puts a little chaos into their life, and then at the end they return back to normalcy, but with the excuse me, with the added benefits of having their journey and what they learned. So yeah, I guess I could put this in kind of like a reader and topic, like quick hit that kind of thing here. Uh, it's there's I guess there is a reason why certain kinds of isekai and everything else still appeal to people, because sometimes you do just take the standard guy or the standard girl and then boom, put them in an unusual situation and then they got to find their way back. Even Barsoom has this. You know, it, it is a rather endearing kind of theme or trope to me that I find pulled me into any kind of numerous number of books, even when I was growing up. So there is that. But to go back to this original link here, let's see. It was the part about underrated importance of ordinary everyday life that struck me. I'm not opposed to people writing about ordinary everyday life, as I'm not opposed to people writing. Anything to get people more creative, I'm just not going to read it. And a lot of people aren't going to either. You think that's an exaggeration. And he puts in examples of basic movie examples, Moonlight, La La Land, and Manchester by the Sea, and compared them with heroic speculative movies, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and American Sniper. The results were is a lot of those movies garnered $2 to $3 million or more, and then La La Land, Manchester, and that other Moonlight, movie, gay black guy goes through life in a rough neighborhood, and barely made over 21 million. One the highest grossed one was, let's see, La La Land with 150 million. Because there are certain kinds of genre setups or expectations where it will appeal more towards a general crowd versus a more specialized crowd. That's the reason why, even though I love superhero prose, I know it's going to be something that'll take a while to grow. Because with superhero angle, a whole lot of people are being flooded with deconstructionist bullshit. Thank you, Watchmen, you piece of shit. Okay, but to get back more on track and kind of stay a little bit more upbeat, space opera is an epic myth with psionics instead of sorcerers, spaceships instead of chariots, and planets in place of strongholds. The urge to focus on the mundane and the ordinary, where the very heavens are calling you, is a failure of spirit of space opera. It's the beginning at the launch pad and staying there. To focus on the ordinary everyday life is fine for drama, but for space opera, it's a failure to launch. I would have to wholeheartedly agree with this guy. That's the reason why even with the Expanse, when it it started turning away from the overall bigger mystery setups to more personalized conflicts between Belter's Earth and everybody else, I kind of just dipped out. Because to me, space opera, my expectations for space opera is like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Maybe have a few quieter moments between characters, like a few little quips of dialogue, to kind of like establish more character relationships. But it's not supposed to stay there for pages on end, like the Becky Chambers books. If you want an example of what really throws me out of space opera, Becky Chambers, all of it. It's like it concentrates far too much on character set pieces and not enough on action or anything else. They're all just sitting there. One day at the table, oh, we're talking about our relationship. And then like, oh, I am non-binary or whatever else they want to throw in there. It's just like, really, it's a postcard or a love letter to what certain subsections of Tumblr do prefer. Um, I'm not in submarine mode anymore, so I could care less about what Tumblr wants or thinks right now. So it's like, blah. I want my wheelhouses, and I want them made to order the way I like them. Just like a good hamburger. And that's the reason why I'll continue on with this channel, because I want to try to bring my flavors of Wheelhouse to the forefront. So that's about it. Have a good day, everybody.